We're setting up for a pilot narrative therapy project at Lismore Baptist Church, which is the church that has been reaching out to people who have been impacted by the trauma of the floods. This is a mental health response that we are trialling.
We're in the CBD of Lismore, and during the floods, at the height of the floods, the water was about 3 metres above my head, or over to my right is the levee bank, about 2.5 metres beyond the top of the levee bank here in Lismore. In my role as church pastor, one of my first concerns was making sure that our church folk were safe. Once the water had subsided, we, along with Baptist Care, were running barbecues for a number of weeks, particularly in South Lismore. So we're just feeding first responders, we're feeding locals, people and tradies, trying to get back into their homes. We're finding now that as it looks like somewhat normal, but is certainly far from normal, there's still people who are not in their homes, and we're just looking at opportunities to connect with people with like the narrative project, just helping people to deal with the trauma.
The idea behind narrative therapy is that our lives are made up of many stories. Some of these stories are really difficult stories of distress and trauma. We also really want to draw out and acknowledge and honour those stories of strength, the ways that people are responding to trauma, the skills that they're using, the values that they're holding on to. A key idea in narrative therapy is that no one is a passive recipient of trauma, that people are always responding in some way. So if you have a look at the cards, have a think if any of them stand out to you. The hope is that through these story sessions, we are providing a safe environment where people can be heard, where they can debrief a bit about the difficult times, but more importantly, where they can really start to see those strengths that they use themselves and that the community used, and also to create a book that honours those skills and strengths, and that other people, even those who didn't participate in the project, if they're having a hard day, our hope is they can open this book and be encouraged to know that they're not alone.
At Lismore Baptist Church, we're on the plateau, and we have Lismore down lower and down to the coast to Ballina. And we're up to, and we have the facility to be able to be a temporary evacuation centre for about a couple of weeks in the flood time, where we also were able to help be a centre where people could bring clothes and other resources to, and also we could provide meals and food to the other evacuation centres. During the flood, we received some money from the Baptist Flood Appeal. It gave us the opportunity to connect with a family that we had a connection with through Baptist Care. And we're up to reline and repaint their house, and up to do that with part of our youth group as well, which is a really cool project for them to be involved in.
As someone operating in the church health space up here in the Northern Rivers, it has been just so encouraging to see our 10 or so churches responding both separately and together to the devastating floods. And this narrative therapy project is just the latest attempt to do that in a way that is meeting real needs that we are seeing in our community at this point in time.
The Multiply Initiative is an excellent initiative from the association, and it has been something that has really spurred me on in my role at Austinville Baptist Church. The initiative is to really keep important what Jesus says is important, as in growing and multiplying disciples, and then growing and multiplying gatherings of disciples, church planting kind of stuff. So as a network in the Northern Rivers of Baptist churches, there are a group of us who are part of the Multiply Initiative, who do intensives in Sydney, and then during the time in between, we actually have monthly meetings where we set goals and plan and encourage one another, keeping each other accountable to those things that we want to do, and pray for one another.
Multiply is just this wonderful opportunity to partner together, to support and encourage each other towards health and multiplication. As a region, we are working to be more strategic toward our vision for 30 healthy churches by 2030. We are looking forward to seeing what God continues to do in the Northern Rivers.